Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing just a quick video giving my thoughts on the YouTube Red slash Netflix series Cobra Kai. Alright, dudes, so this is one that people have been asking me to go ahead and do for quite a few years now. I'm not going to go ahead and review the whole series for Cobra Kai as I'm like way freaking behind with this one, but I decided I would go ahead and give it a try with its first season. So I think I'm most of the way through the first season now, watching on Netflix kind of back to back. It's pretty awesome. You just stream it through. And wow, dudes, I'm really impressed with Cobra! Okay, I'll stop. I'm really impressed with Cobra Kai. So what's the deal with this one? So I heard about this one like back in 2000 and I think 2018, and because now it's had like 5 seasons at this point, right, for Cobra Kai. I don't know how many they're going to go ahead and do, but leave a comment below if you guys have seen Cobra Kai if you watch. So what is it? So for people who don't watch it, Cobra Kai is like a new series version. Updated, well, not even updated, but it's a continuation of the Karate Kid. So if you guys remember from the 80s, the Karate Kid movie, and I guess it's movies, because I didn't know they made more than one, but of course they made more. It's so popular, of course they made more than one Karate Kid movie. But yeah, so I heard about this concept for Cobra Kai, that they were going to do a new series based on the Karate Kid with some of the same characters that were in Karate Kid, just later on in life, where they have their own kids who are coming of age, and so it's going to be Cobra Kai. So I was like, oh, that sounds whatever, but I thought it sounded too gimmicky, or I thought it sounded too much like it's probably not going to work, right? Well, of course I was wrong. It's 5 seasons in now and has a huge following. Really big, a big audience for it. I wasn't sure because I was like, okay, it's 2022. In the last few years as well too, like the late 2010s, early 2020s, and do people even really practice karate anymore? That much karate anymore? Like, do they really do? Are there that many dojos around? And what do people do? I mean, I know in the 80s and 90s it was the shit. Like you could go. There was McDojos all over the place, right? You go down the street, like one over here, one over there. You can say, which one are you going to? I'm going to this one. Oh, I'm going to that one. Cool, man. We should spar. And it's like, that was like the deal, dudes. That was the deal, karate back in the day, right? Because this was before UFC and had come out. You saw like the first couple of UFCs and you didn't know, and you saw Bruce Lee in the movies and you thought he could just like kill everybody with like some finger punch technique or something. And you're like, oh, you don't know, man. You don't know. Okay, Bruce, he'll like one punch, he'll kill you. He'll die. It's like, oh, really? Wow. Right now. Oh my God. So it was like back in that time. So I was like, I wasn't sure about this one, because I was like, nowadays it's like BJJ, right, and wrestling too, and everything, and is what it is, which. That's always been around, but I mean it's really switched now to where like MMA and BJJ all over the place, and you don't have as many karate dojos as you used to, but it's still sick, dude. People who really love it, who really practice it for a long time. Obviously in MMA you have Machida. There's a lot of karate guys that are very impressive, and if they can adapt their style for MMA, like GSP for example is like a karate taekwondo. Guy as well, and one of the greatest of all time in MMA. So it's a little bit tricky. I don't know exactly how I feel about it. I thought I'd give it a shot. Okay, we got enough. I give it a shot, give it a try, and I'm extremely impressed. Now I see why you guys like it so much. So basically, what do you have here with Cobra Kai? It's really cool the way they do it. So I expected them to follow LaRusso, which is the Karate Kid in the Karate Kid. The crane kick and shit. Like that's what I expected them to do, but they swerve with this one right away in the first season. The first episode, for example, focuses on Cobra Kai, so it focuses on Johnny Lawrence, who is the blonde kid who gets crane kicked in the Karate Kid. So he gets crane kicked, and Dan LaRusso wins. Now, I love what they did with this. So the adult versions of them, LaRusso is extremely successful. He's got his own auto sales business, what have you, right? Maybe a little bit of repairs, but like dealership type of thing going. So he's really successful. And Johnny Lawrence is not. So he's, he gets me, and it like traumatizes him, right? Like they got the Karate Kid stuff. He gets kicked in the face with a crane kick, and it screws him up. He's like, all messed up after, and he. You feel like from watching the first season of the series, he's carried this with him, and it's like screwed him up. It's like messed him up to where he's got this traumatic experience. Everybody was watching, and he blew it, and then he's a loser, and then that just spills into his career, and he's not able to quite get things together. He's like a handyman and stuff, but he gets like fired from his job in the premiere. But he's so likable. Like he's incredibly likable. And the funny thing about what they did with this, at least in the first season, it starts to fade as you get through the end of the first season. But I actually don't like the Karate Kid in this one. The adult version of him, LaRusso, Daniel LaRusso, I don't like. I actually like Johnny Lawrence a lot better with Cobra. So he gets fired from his job. He's basically the lead character for at least the first little while, for the first few episodes. And he gets fired from his handyman job, and so he decides to take a stab at it and start Cobra Kai. So he opens his own dojo. He's got like one student to start with and everything. Cobra! And it's going like not very well, but then he gets more. Then the kid gets in a fight, and then he gets more people to come and sign up and stuff, and then he starts doing all right. Freaking awesome, dudes. And then, you start to kind of like LaRusso more, I think, as the first season goes on. But I love the way they kind of swapped protagonist to antagonist in this, where, like, the Karate Kid, the Karate Kid was the hero in that one, and Johnny was, like, the villain. And then in this one, the way they've done this, it really feels like Johnny is, like, this really relatable everyman who he just kind of feels sorry for. And LaRusso is, like, that pompous, kind of showboater guy that likes like I don't want business and making lots of money and screw you, like that kind of guy, like Peacock kind of guy. So peacocking, walking around, whatever. So it's really cool the way they did this. I am extremely impressed. 10 episodes per season, 5 seasons. Season 5 just released last month on Netflix, YouTube Red, YouTube Premium, and Netflix. And so I just want to let you guys know, it's not a full series review, but out of the first 2 episodes that I saw, I'd say this is a solid 8. It's much better than I thought it would be. A lot of fun, and I'm going to see if I can get through it. Maybe I can get all the way to season 5, but it might take me a few months with my schedule and stuff to get through it. But I love it, dude. It brings me back to the 80s. It makes me feel like, it brings my mind like right back to that, because I was in karate when I was younger for like 3.5 years. So, I did that whole thing like twice a week, a couple hours each time, did the tournaments, did all that stuff. That was the shit back then, man. That was what it was before we realized like, oh, right, grappling. Yeah. It's probably know how to do that. Yeah, it's like hey, punch, kick, whatever. What if you don't bring your leg away fast enough and the guy grabs your leg and takes you down? Oh, right. Anyway, I love it. It's still awesome. It's 80s. It's 80s sweetness. Cobra Kai gets a I don't know what a double fist punch for me. Right, it's like some of the techniques in karate, like, it's so stupid. It's like, punch from the hip. It's like, leave your chin up. And like it's just, I don't know. Double punch, whatever. It looks cool, whatever. And, I'd say the same thing about the crane kick, but then Machida, Randy Couture, that was like the best. That was the best knockout ever. Ever. I was like, I had flashbacks to my childhood watching Karate Kid when I saw that knockout. When I saw him land the crane kick, I was like, oh my God, he landed a crane kick. Awesome. Okay, so it's in the middle. Okay, it's in the spinning shit. I don't know. It's fun. Anyway, it's really fun. 80s Cobra Kai. Check it out. I haven't seen it. Trev, same piece. On the video up below. See you guys soon.